how much of it is it that they're thinking in the longer term, later on in their careers, they might be significantly paid by some of these corporations?
I think,
or if you're in an agency as well, like the FDA, the CDC, whether that's conscious or subconscious. But
I think we're being polite. But I think you're right. We know, for example, that so we talk about, for example, one of the big issues is the capture of the regulators. So I was in Australia recently, and a senior journalist on Sky News Australia called Rowan Dean, he was shocked when I said in the interview that the 96% of the funding of the Australian medical regulator, the TGA, comes from pharma. And he initially didn't believe me. And I was like, no, this is factually correct. This is published in the British Medical Journal, investigation actually done by an Australian journalist called Marion Damasi. 65% of the funding of the FDA comes from pharma. 86% of the funding in this country of the regulator comes from pharma. 86% of the MHRA. And the chair of the BMA, Char Nagpur, when I gave a lecture during the British Medical Association Island Conference last year, at one of their fringe meetings, and he was there, and the president of the BMA was there, he was gobsmacked. He actually didn't believe me initially. He didn't even know that, the chair of the BMA. So that tells you that the ignorance or misinformation or illusion of knowledge, one or all of those three ways of thinking, is at the very highest levels of medical leadership, of policy making. Right. So I think it's important to know that, because, listen, there are nefarious people out there. Right, there are generally some very bad actors, but I think more than that, I think the system encourages good people to do bad things. But once they are presented with the information and the facts, they are more likely to then act on it and realize, hold on a minute, this isn't right. But I think what's happened with these big corporations is they've captured so many people that this problem is bigger than any one person. It's bigger than a president. Is bigger than a prime minister. I realized that several years ago and attempted on at least 3 occasions and I broke the mainstream, saying we need a public inquiry into the pharmaceutical industry and their influence over clinical decision making, which is very harmful, on a scale that we had like the Chilcot inquiry into the Iraq War. And I wrote about this, and it became news stories in the Daily Mail, in the Guardian. It was a front page of the I newspaper when I went and spoke in the European Parliament 2018. And the title of the talk was "Big Food and Big Pharma Killing for Profit?" ? And I went there with the former president of the Royal College of Physicians, Sir Richard Thompson, who was also former personal physician to the Queen of England, who was all very much on side. And the reason I did that, Brian, was because I thought this problem is so big that it needs huge awareness, ideally through the mainstream media, and that also influences politicians to act. I found that that's how it worked with my campaign on ultimately helping bring about the tax on sugary drinks and raising awareness on the harms of sugar, which I did in that same way. And I thought, and I tried several times. I kept, and I went and met with politicians and discussed it with them. Even the then chair of the Health Select Committee, Sarah Wollaston. And I sat with her in her room, and then she realized this was a big problem several years ago. This was a really big issue, because what was also going on is lots of examples of research misconduct were coming out, fabrication of data across British institutions, and nothing was done to sort the problem out. And we thought, bloody hell, this is just really, really bad. But she even said to me, Aseem, I need more support from my colleagues. The colleagues, a lot of those politicians respond to the media, right? Because they know the media influence the public.
Yeah.
Right, so this is how it all works. So this is what we call the triangle that moves a mountain. So this is how we need to change the system, is understand that triangle, which is create the relevant information that's clear, concrete, strengthen that information towards a greater truth, disseminate it to the public, social movement, and that can be through alternative media, social media, more and more now. Mainstream media, ideally, that's traditionally what's been most effective and still is very effective, unfortunately, right now. And then get the political engagement. Because we need to work with the politicians, because ultimately they have the power to determine the laws that are going to strengthen democracy and protect the public from the now clear excesses and manipulations of these multinational corporations that are damaging people's mental health, physical health, social well-being, and democracy.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.